There are many historical documented cases of UFOs interfering with life here on Earth. Many of these cases had a profound impact on saving our planet. Who or what these UFOs are is left to the imagination. Some believe they're actual intelligent beings from other planets coming to save us from our own mishaps. There are theories of UFOs that have saved our planet many times are actually travelers from our future coming back to alter history. Einstein's theory of relativity has been proven that time travel is possible, but only going forward. Is it possible to travel back in time? Either way, these first-hand encounters documented in historical records have played an important role in saving us from total destruction. One of the most interesting things to take notice is that many of these documented cases were related to nuclear power. Chernobyl. The collapse of the Chernobyl nuclear reactor on April 26, 1986 is known as one of the major nuclear disasters in history. But it could have been much worse. The nuclear explosion could have wiped out all of Russia and half of Europe, making it uninhabitable for up to 20,000 years due to radiation. This could have easily wiped out hundreds of millions of people. Eyewitness reports cite that right after the nuclear explosion, they saw a UFO hovering over the collapsed nuclear generator for 6 hours. Mikhail Voritsky, an eyewitness on the scene, said, "I and other people from my production team went to the site of the blast that night. We saw a ball of fire and it was slowly flying in the sky. I would say the fireball was 6 to 8 meters in diameter." Voritsky and other witnesses at the scene believe the ball of fire was a UFO helping to bring down levels of radiation. Fukushima. The latest nuclear disaster occurred in Japan due to a tsunami generated by a 9.0 magnitude earthquake hitting the Fukushima nuclear power plant. News and video reports at the time reported that several unidentified flying objects were recorded around the area. Similar stories have been reported about Chernobyl as well. Ino, a small town near Fukushima with a large amount of UFO sightings, has been discovered. The Fukushima-Ino area has been referred to as Japanese Roswell because of the large amount of UFO sightings. Since the horrific earthquake that precipitated the nuclear meltdown at Fukushima, there have been thousands of UFO sightings in the area, and many claim that the UFOs have helped by keeping the radiation levels in check. The Russian meteorite. The problem with meteorites is that we may see them coming, but little can be done to stop them. Though NASA has some preliminary plans on how to defend our planet, we do not have any way to stop them. On February 15, 2013, an asteroid was filmed by many dash cams throughout Russia. It was claimed that this asteroid was large enough to wipe out an entire city. Videos show that the meteorite being shot by an unknown object from space, causing the asteroid to break up before entering our atmosphere. Whoever was responsible for this saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of lives. The Russian submarine. On October 27, 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, a nuclear-armed Soviet submarine was located near Cuba in international waters. United States destroyers and aircraft carriers knew of the whereabouts and started launching depth charges in order to get the submarine to surface and identify itself. When the Soviets heard the depth charges being detonated near them, they feared war had finally broken out. Many crew members wanted to launch the nuclear missiles in defense. In doing so, this would have initiated a massive nuclear response starting World War III. An argument broke out amongst the 3 crew members who were in charge of the submarine. In the end, they decided not to launch the nuclear weapon. However, after international incident, a rumor circulated that the crew did in fact launch the nuclear submarine. The cover-up was said that all members of the crew agreed in unison to launch the nuclear weapons. The nuclear weapons were launched but did not fire nor detonate. Not wanting to admit failure and make the Soviets look bad, the story of the argument and subsequent admittance of not launching the nuclear weapon by Vice Admiral Vasily Arkhipov named him the guy who saved the world. During this time, there were many eyewitnesses on board the USS Randolph who have reported UFO sightings over their boat on numerous occasions. What were these lights, and why were they the main cause of the failure of the Soviet submarine launch? Many believe so. Maelstrom UFO incident. In 1967, Maelstrom Air Force Base in Montana experienced an incident that still leaves witnesses shaky. The men and women who ran the military base were the best of the best, intended to protect our country in the case of nuclear war. They could receive word from the president to launch and prepare missiles at our enemies at a moment's notice. One night in 1967, guards on base reported seeing unidentified lights flying over the base. These lights were viewed by multiple guards from different command posts. Keep in mind, these soldiers were extremely knowledgeable about military aircraft, as well as other classified aircrafts of the United States military. Maelstrom Air Force Base was also home to a cache of United States nuclear intercontinental missiles called Minutemen. The guard on duty reported to his commander in panic that one of these lights, later called a red glowing saucer-shaped object, was hovering completely silent in front of the gate. At this time, the nuclear missiles on the base started shutting down one by one missile after the next. Our nuclear defense was offline. In the event of a nuclear attack, we would not be able to retaliate. What should the world make of these eyewitness accounts? Are they real? Do aliens actually care about Earth enough to save mankind from disaster and virtual extinction? One last thought to keep in mind. These examples in history are publicly known. Imagine what secrets our government and other governments are hiding. Maybe one day these riddles will be solved. I wouldn't be surprised to find out we're not alone.